Speaking of great drafts and great value, next up is the New England Patriots, and with their first-round pick, they took Matt Jones, the Alabama quarterback. Gave this pick an A+. This was tremendous. Matt Jones falling to 15 reminds me a little bit of Bo Callahan in the movie Draft Day. Lots of people expected him to go number 1, and then he dropped into the top 5. Lots of people expected Matt Jones to be number 3 overall to the San Francisco 49ers. He drops 15 to the Patriots. This is a match made in heaven for the Patriots, Bill Belichick and Matt Jones. I don't think you can get better than this. I know lots of people wanted Justin Fields to the Patriots. I think Matt Jones would be better off with the Patriots than Justin Fields. Matt Jones, when I did my top 5 quarterback rankings, my top 5, Jones was my 5th, but he was the only quarterback I did not really have a comparison for. As I watched more on Matt Jones, I'm not saying he's Tom Brady. I'm not saying he's going to be the next Tom Brady. I'm simply saying if you watch Matt Jones' film, the similarities between Tom Brady and Matt Jones are very similar. They do everything good, but they do nothing really outstanding. Also, his pocket awareness is phenomenal. He is so freaking smart, and that aspect reminds me a little bit of Tom Brady. This was a fantastic pick here for the Patriots. They could not have got any better pick here unless they were to trade up. And in the second round, they actually traded up with the Cincinnati Bengals. They traded their 46th pick and 2 fourth-round picks to the 38th, and they selected another Alabama Crimson Tide player in defense tackle Christian Barmore. I give this pick an A+. I thought this was phenomenal. Barmore was arguably the best player available here, and in true Belichick fashion, he normally takes best player available. They could really use some help on defense because their defense struggled quite a bit last season. Barmore was the best defense tackle available, and he fell to 38th, and it was really surprising. I was surprised he dropped out of the first round. Patriots get tremendous value getting Barmore at 38th when he could have been gone at 20, and he drops to 38th. Getting Jones at 15, getting Christian Barmore at 38th are 2 phenomenal picks in itself, but that's just tremendous value getting both those players. So I'll give this Christian Barmore pick here an A+, and I really, really like it a lot. Speaking of great value, in round 3, they had another pick that I ended up giving them an A+, and that was Oklahoma edge rusher Ronnie Perkins. Ronnie Perkins at the 96th pick is an absolute steal. I was shocked that he fell this far. Not including the trade back with the Patriots pick at 46, and I'd have been shocked that Ronnie Perkins was even gone by their 2nd round pick. Getting him with one of their compensatory picks in the 3rd round is tremendous value. Gives them more depth. I just really, really like this pick. You sign Matthew Judon from the Ravens in free agency. You have him and Ronnie Perkins off the edge. That's absolutely phenomenal. You get Barmore, defense tackle, and Perkins. And Matt Jones. I gave all 3 of these picks A+. They're just so phenomenal here. I really think you can get much better than these 3 picks here by the New England Patriots. As we continue here, the 4th round now was kind of an interesting and different opinion. Like I said, my first 3 picks I graded for the New England Patriots were all A+. This pick here, I actually had them going in B-. In the 4th round, they took Oklahoma running back Rajandre Stevenson. This was not best player available. This was not the best running back available. Chuba Hubbard was available, the running back from Oklahoma State. I don't think they should have took a running back this early. This really surprised me because this is not really a Belichick type of pick here. But I gave it a B-. Realistically, though, it's going to be one of those guys, kind of a head-scratcher pick. Why did Belichick do that? And then he ends up being a 3-time Pro Bowler. Seems like that is pretty much everything with the Patriots. They'll make anybody into a All-Pro. As we continue here, another pick I really like quite a bit in the 5th round. With the 177th pick overall, they took Michigan linebacker Cameron McGriff. I was actually surprised this was not Dylan Moses, but as the draft continued, I was just really crazy to see how Dylan Moses was not even drafted. But Cameron McGriff, they took Michigan defensive players the past couple of seasons. McGriff, he's coming off an injury, so he's probably not going to play, not at all for the Patriots this upcoming season. But getting him here, I really, really like this pick. This was best player available. And despite his injury, Belichick has a plan. I mean, he can, learn from some of those guys on the defense and then come back in year 2 and just ball out on New England's defense. So I love that pick there. Let's continue here in round 6 with the 188th pick overall. They took Missouri safety Joshua Bledsoe. I give this pick a B. There are better players available here, but it was not a bad pick by any means. Safety Patrick Young actually retired in the offseason, so they could really use some safety help. They drafted Kyle Duggar, the safety from the North Line last season in the 2nd round, and he did not play a whole ton of games last season. I think they could use more depth at safety, so I really like that pick there in the 6th round. The 7th round, with the 197th pick overall, they selected Colorado offensive tackle William Sherman. I gave this pick a B. I could use more help on the offensive line. Sherman was one of the better offensive tackles available. This was a nice pickup for the Patriots, so I gave that pick a B. Really good value pick there. With the last pick of the draft, in the 7th round, the 242nd pick overall, they take USC wide receiver Trey Nixon. I like this pick quite a bit too. I give Cam Newton or Matt Jones, whoever your starting quarterback week 1 is going to be, some more weapons. I thought Trey Nixon was an underrated receiver. And I also liked his, teammate at UCF, wide receiver Marlon Williams, quite a bit here too. Either one of those picks would have been great, but getting Nixon here is a nice pickup, so I gave that pick a B. So that was the Patriots. Grading each pick there for them. And my overall grade for the New England Patriots was an A. I thought the first 3 rounds, they literally could have done any better. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal.